So you want to do a Ring of Kerry drive. Well, in this video, I'm going to go over 15 essential driving tips for tourists who are thinking of doing the Ring of Kerry drive, all through the eyes of a local. Now, if that sounds good to you, then let's get to it. Toll roads, Irish finger flick animals on the road.
Watch out for the pointy rocks sticking out in the road.
Hello adventurers, this is Niels from Adventures in Quiet Places. On this channel I share tips for your visit to Southwest Ireland. Now if you're new here and this is your thing, please consider subscribing, and if you do, also hit that little bell icon so that you get notified every time that I upload a video. I don't know, should they consider subscribing?
Definitely.
So I've been living on the Ring for about 6 years now, and there's some things to consider when you're driving the Ring of Kerry that I think you might find helpful. So let's get into it. 15 tips. I might throw in a few bonuses as well. So number one is toll roads. Okay, don't worry, the Ring of Kerry itself is not a toll road, but getting your car to the Ring of Kerry might mean that you do come across a few of those toll roads. Now, the closest ones are the tunnel near Limerick City and the motorway in Cork. So you've got Limerick to the north, Cork to the south, and those are the two closest places where you can get your car through a toll plaza. If I'm not mistaken, there's a total of 11 toll roads in the whole of Ireland. 10 of them are conducted with so-called toll plazas, so those are the normal ones that you know. You drive up to them and you can either pay with cash or with card, and you're good to go and you keep on going. The 11th and last one is the toll road around Dublin, and that is a fully automated one. High tech, very cool. It works with cameras. The cameras capture your license plate, and you'll have to pay the toll online by 8 p.m. the next day, if I'm not mistaken. If you are renting a car, please discuss with your rental company if the toll is already included or if you have to pay that yourself if you're going via that automated toll system close to Dublin. So keep that in mind. Toll roads. So tip number two for your Ring of Kerry drive is be prepared for the quality of the roads. So you'll be driving along on the highway, on the motorway. You've just paid your toll and it's smooth sailing. It is a good road. Just wait until you get to Cork and go further westwards towards the Ring of Kerry. The quality of the road starts to deteriorate quite rapidly. Now, honestly, it's not as bad as it used to be, and the government really does try to improve the roads, but sometimes I'm, even as a local, a little bit surprised about that quality of the road, considering that the Ring of Kerry is such a national treasure and such a huge tourist attraction. You think that it's in a better shape than it actually is. Now don't worry, you are able to drive it, it's completely fine. There's just some stretches, notably outside of Kenmare, outside of Waterville and outside of Sneem. Really bumpy, a lot of potholes. Just the overall condition of the road is not fantastic. So just something to consider is the general condition of the roads. Basically that means drive slowly. And that gets me to tip number 3 on our Ring of Kerry drive, and that is drive slowly. There's a few reasons for driving slowly. First of all, just the scenery. Go and slow down, take your time, take it all in. It is so beautiful around here. If you just go in file with all of the other local drivers, they rush over the roads, and just because they know the local roads, but you won't get as much time to take it all in, and that would be a real shame. So slow down, let other people pass, let them take over, and just enjoy your drive. Take it slowly. Also, with all of the bends and the brows and the corners that you can't oversee, the potholes, stuff like that, it's better to take it slowly. Just drive slower than you think that you actually need to. Come to think of it, this could go under tip number 2 as well. If you're not used to these small, narrow, windy, bendy roads, and driving on the left, of course, then it might be a good idea to add some extra insurance to your rental car, just in case that you knock off a mirror or stuff like that. It happens all the time here. It's just something to consider. Tip number 4 is a fun one. It's the Irish finger flick for drivers. If you want to come across as a local, not as a tourist, do the Irish finger flick every time that you come across another driver on these windy and narrow roads, you're in this together with them and just saying hi in that way with the Irish finger flick. It's a nice way to pretend that you're local. Tip number 5 would be to get off the beaten path. It's very tempting to stay on the ring. That's also where the most amount of tourists are. And there's so much to see here in the hinterland, in the boondocks of the Ivora of the Kerry Peninsula. It's rarely seen. I highly recommend to get off that beaten path, to go and explore the little side roads and the places that don't seem to go anywhere. You will always find something. Now, if you're a little bit scared that you might get lost, the Ring of Kerry itself, the driving road, goes all around the peninsula. So whichever way you drive, eventually you will hit it. You will come across the ring again. It's pretty well signed, so you will be able to recognize it. So that gives you all of the freedom, if you've got a time, to go and explore. So get off the beaten path, explore the backwaters, and enjoy. Tip number 6 for your Ring of Kerry drive is, which way do you actually drive? Is that clockwise or counterclockwise? Now, honestly, both work fine. I would go clockwise. So that means, let's say that you start in Killarney. I would start with driving towards Ladies View and Moss Gap, and from there to Kenmare first. Now, there's a reason for this. All of the tour buses during tourist season, so during the summer, they actually go counterclockwise. That's this standing agreement with all of the tour operators here, that because of the very narrow roads, it's very difficult for the tour buses to pass each other on those narrow roads. So what they do instead is they all go the same way, so they don't get into that problem. But that means that if you are going counterclockwise as well, so they drive from Killarney to Killorglin first, wow, that's a tongue twister. If you follow them, you'll be behind them the whole day. Now, if that's not an issue for you, no problem. Go counterclockwise, just like the tour buses. Again, perfectly valid way of doing things. If you leave very early from Killarney, let's say before 9 a.m. when usually the tour buses leave, you won't have this problem to begin with. Or go way later in the day, so let's say from 11 a.m. onwards. That would be in the summertime, because that will leave you enough daylight. But also you will not be bumping into those tour buses again that quickly, all if you are going counterclockwise. Now, my tip would be, if you have the choice, I would go clockwise first, meaning first Ladies View and Moss Gap and to Kenmare, and then onwards to the rest of the peninsula, instead of going counterclockwise. Of course, if you're going outside of season, so outside of the summer, and there's no tour buses around, say from October to April-ish, you're not going to bump into any tour buses to begin with, because they're just not around. There's very little tourism during those time periods, so the winter months and the early spring, you're not going to see any tour buses. One downside of going clockwise is that if you do, and you're not that comfortable with driving on the left side of the road, you're going to encounter those tour buses somewhere along the way during the day. And it's not just one or two, but you're going to encounter a lot of them. So that is just something to consider, that they'll be coming towards you. So both ways have merit. Clockwise, counterclockwise. Me personally, I would go clockwise. Getting eaten alive by the midges here. Anyways, if you're getting some value out of this video, drop a like below. Also, just take a look at this surrounding here. I'm so grateful that I'm able to live here as an expat. Ireland's nature, history, the people, it's just... Oh. Okay, I'm trying to show you, but the camera just keeps on following my face. Sorry about that. So let's try that again, without my big face in the way. This just never gets old. So tip number, what are we on? 6, 7? Number 7 is consider the time of year that you're going to do your Ring of Kerry drive. You know, you don't have to come here when everybody else comes here. during the tourist season in the summer months. The road is here in the winter as well. Better yet, that's my favorite time to be here, the winter months. This lush green that you see around me right now, it's not there. It's a completely different landscape. Not just the obvious where the trees are without leaves. No, the color is different. It's deep bronze. It's yellow and brown, so vivid. You couldn't imagine it if you hadn't seen it. Raw, harsh weather. It is fantastic, and there's no tourists around, so you've got all the tourist attractions to yourself. I completely love that. So let's do a quick rundown. The tourist season here starts with St. Patrick's Day, so in the middle of March. That's the official start of the tourist season. The first few months, so March, April, beginning of May, it's still nice and quiet enough. Nature starts to really wake up here around halfway April, and beginning of May it starts to get really nice, that lush green that you're seeing around now. The rhododendrons will be in bloom about then, but not too many tourists around yet. Then as you get to June, July, August, now that's the height of the tourist season right there. Tour buses are driving, there's a lot of people around. Nature's absolutely gorgeous. And then from, let's say, September, it starts to taper off a little bit. Kids or families with kids will have to go back to their normal lives, so it's a good time to come here as well. And then October, the autumn colors start to really kick in here, so you get that nice Indian summer. You have that here. It's fantastic. November is rough weather-wise, a lot of rain. A lot of tourist towns start to close down. Let's say, for example, Kenmare. Now, don't get me wrong, still plenty of stuff is open, but November is such a slow month for a place like Kenmare that a lot of the restaurants, a lot of the hotels actually close down for the whole of a part of the month of November. And then December, January, February, it's very, very slow. Some things are open, some things are closed. Most of the tourist attractions, so let's say the Cliffs of Kerry, will just be open, no problems whatsoever. But some of the hotels are closed during those winter months. Doesn't mean that there's no accommodation. You can absolutely still come here. It's really nice to drive the Ring of Kerry during the months because it's quiet, there's no tour buses, it's absolutely beautiful, it's rough weather, it's just a completely different feel of the ring. And I highly recommend it. So consider to come perhaps outside of tourist season. Tip number 8 is closely related. If you are coming outside of tourist season, let's say towards the winter months, consider the amount of daytime that you have. It's not much. If you are coming in winter time, the sun goes down here really quickly during winter time. Ireland is very northerly located. It's on the same height, if you will, as parts of Newfoundland. So it's pretty much up there. That means that during the depths of winter, around the shortest day, 21st of December, the sun goes down here by 4 o'clock and it's dark by 4:30 to 5. So keep that in mind if you're doing the Ring of Kerry drive later in the year. It gets dark very quickly. Again, you can do the drive all in one day. If you leave just a little bit later on a winter's day, there might not be that much daytime left for you. Tip number 9 would be aware of the animals on the road. And there's a lot of them. Deer, sheep, foxes, all kinds of stuff crosses the road here. They own the place. That's basically what it comes down to. So let's do a quick rundown around Killarney and Killarney National Park. Deer. Be aware for deer. They always travel in little groups. If you see one, there's going to be another one and another one. So just slow down. Again, slow driving was a good thing to keep in mind. Not only during dawn and dusk do they come out, they're out in Killarney National Park all day. They cross the road all day. So just be aware of that. Then we're talking about sheep. Sheep you'll come across everywhere on the Ring of Kerry. Let's see, around Moss Gap is where you'll see them most, outside of the fields and on the road. and they don't care. They really do not care about cars. They will position their fluffy little bum on the middle of the road for whatever reason, to take a nap, just because they can. Whatever the reason is, they're gonna be there. So take it slow, especially around Moll's Gap. One more thing, lamps. If you're doing the back roads, as we said in one of our earlier tips, if you're driving the back roads and you're doing so in spring, there's a very good chance that you're going to come across lambs that have broken out of their fields for the very first time and that are bumping into cars for the very first time. Now, the grown adult sheep, they know what to do with cars. Basically, just ignore them. They're king of the road. Lambs do not. They make very weird action. They do not react well to the first time that they see a car. So drive slowly. If you're in spring on the back roads, drive really slowly and keep an eye on the ditches, because there will be a lamb jumping out, bolting out of that ditch. So be prepared to stop in an instant. Tip number 10 for your Ring of Kerry drive. Number 10 already. We're making good progress, guys. Consider switching drivers. Let's say that you're driving with two people, you and another person right next to you, and you are both very comfortable on driving on the left side of the road on these little narrow roads. Then do consider switching drivers. Kira and I have a saying that you are either driving the Ring of Kerry or you're sightseeing the Ring of Kerry. You can't do both of them, it's one or the other. Of course, as a driver, you see plenty of the surroundings, but the nature of the road itself, it's sometimes a little bit challenging, and just the sheer beauty of this place makes that it's really nice if you as a driver can take a break and somebody else can take over, so that you can sit back, relax and enjoy the scenery just a little bit more in depth. So, little tip there. Consider switching drivers. Next on our list is don't forget Kenmare. Let's say that you're going the same way that all of the tour buses are going. You're going counterclockwise. At the end of the day, you're going to get to a little town called Sneem. Now, Sneem is on the south side of the Kerry Peninsula, and this is where the tour buses are starting to make a decision. Well, they're not making a decision, they're all driving the exact same way. They are not following the last part of the Ring of Kerry. No, they're taking a detour, or a little bypass, if you will, directly towards Moll's Gap. They completely ignore the town of Kenmare, which is a real shame because Kenmare is awesome. My tip here would be to not forget about Kenmare. Don't follow the tour buses when they take the road towards Moll's Gap from Sneem. Continue on the actual road, on the actual Ring of Kerry towards Kenmare, and enjoy that place. Nice tourist shops, great cafes, great restaurants, stone circle, entry to the Ring of Berra if you do have a little bit more time. That is something that I can highly recommend. Do not go directly to Moll's Gap from Sneem. Instead, keep on going. Do not forget Kenmare. Tip number 12 for your Ring of Kerry drive is be careful when overtaking. It's because of the nature of the road, because of the nature of the ring itself, with all of the bends, the narrowness, the corners that you can't oversee, those brows that you can't oversee. Just only do so when you can clearly see what's coming up ahead. When the markings allow it, just be smart here. Be careful when you overtake. Tip number 13. Thank you for hanging in there with me, adventurers. Whew, this is a long list, but I hope it's helpful. And if there's any locals actually listening and watching this, and you've got a tip that I missed, add it to the comments. Plan in some extra time. The ring can be done in one day, but I highly recommend that you plan in some extra time. Either on the day itself, if you've only planned in for yourself about 7 hours, make it 10. Just to give yourself that extra wiggle room so that you're not rushed, so that you have the time to have experience, or to go exploring, or to enjoy the unexpected, which very possibly could happen on the ring. Better yet, plan in more than a couple of hours. If you have a day and you can wiggle in 2 days, perhaps even 3 or more, I would highly recommend it. I've been driving around here with Kira now for years on end. Every weekend we go out and there's something new that we discover. It's either a new ruin, or a standing stone, or a stone row, or a beautiful beach, or just something. This land is gorgeous. This land is ancient with so much history, so many stories, so much So many great people. It's just a shame if you stick to the ring, do it in one day, just get only the tourist highlights. This place has so much more to offer than that. It's very easy to get stuck in like this tourist trap of the ring, where you do the highlights and that's it. Where if you let this place, it will take you on an adventure. You can see I'm a bit passionate about this place. I hope I made that clear. Planning some extra time for yourself. Tip number 14 would be, let's go over some signs that you might not be familiar with, but can come across when you're driving the Ring of Kerry. We're starting with the symbol for the Ring of Kerry, which you can see right here. It is a circle with a little crown inside of it, and that is pointing to the nickname of County Kerry, which is the Kingdom. Now, all of the counties in Ireland have a nickname. For example, Cork is the Rebel County, and Limerick is the Treaty County. But Kerry is known as the Kingdom, and that's what that little crown is referring to. You'll be seeing this sign all over the ring, and it just lets you know that you're still going the right way, that you're still on the main Ring of Kerry road. Next up is this sign. You can see it's made out of 3 big megaliths, or 3 stones. These signs usually point to a megalithic site, so either a stone circle, as is the case here, it's pointing towards Cashokilty stone circle, maybe it's a big standing stone, or a stone row, or a stone pair, any kind of megalithic site. If you come across one of these signs, I highly recommend that you pull over and take the time to investigate, because these sites are fantastic to visit. This right here is the sign for the Wild Atlantic Way, which is a tourist road that runs all the way from South Ireland, from Cork, 2,500 kilometers up the western Irish coast all the way up to Donegal. It includes the Ring of Kerry, it includes the Ring of Beara, all over Sheephead and over Dingle. That road just meanders its way up north. As long as you are following the signs with the S, that means that you're going southbound, meaning towards Cork, or if you're following the N signs, means that you're going northwards or northbound towards Donegal. You'll be seeing these all over the western edge of Ireland, as long as you keep on driving very close to the coast. And again, the Ring of Kerry is part of the greater Wild Atlantic Way. Now, this is a very special sign, ungale-tucked. Whenever you come across one of these signs, it makes clear that you're going into an area where the predominant language spoken is, or at least until very recently was, the original Irish language instead of English. Now, these areas are starting to become very rare, but you can come across them on the Ring of Kerry. The Irish government is doing everything in their power to protect these areas, with giving them special status. So if you do come across one of these areas, see if you can pull over and go into a local pub or restaurant, and there's a very good chance that you'll hear the locals speak in that original Irish language or Gaelic, which is by itself really fantastic. Now, I don't have an actual picture of this one, but these 2 words, Go Mole, I think that's how you pronounce it, you will come across this painted on the road, sometimes with the English word slow, and that's what it means, slow or slowly in Gaelic. Now, trust me, if an Irish road tells you to go mole or to go slowly, follow the suggestion. And our 15th and last tip for your Ring of Kerry drive is know the basics. Let's go over them quickly. First up, of course, you will need a driver's license, an Irish driver's license, or an international driving permit. And also, if you're driving the Ring of Kerry, you have to have that license or that permit on you. It's the law. Here in Ireland, they drive on the left, and the signs that you see here are in kilometers per hour. So all of the signs on the Ring of Kerry and in the whole of the Republic of Ireland are in kilometers per hour, where up north in Northern Ireland, they are in miles per hour. Another obvious one is no drinking and no drugs while driving. Should be going without saying. If I'm not mistaken, since 2018, the maximum amount of alcohol that you can have in your blood is 50 milligrams. Don't quote me on that, they might have changed that, so please do check that beforehand. Just be smart, no drinking and drugs while you're driving, especially with all of these windy, bendy roads. It's not a good idea. And the last bit is take some time to figure out Irish roundabouts. You won't come across that many roundabouts on the Ring of Kerry. Killarney does have quite a few of them, but outside of Killarney is not that many. Just take a few moments to familiarize yourself with how the Irish take roundabouts, and then when you're actually here, be prepared to be flabbergasted and going like, nobody follows the rules. It's just the way it is. God, roundabouts are just a free-for-all around here. It's just hope and pray, keep your fingers crossed that all goes well, just put your indicator out, you'll probably be the only one who does so, and just go for it. It's an experience. You've got a bonus tip?
Yes, watch out for the pointy rocks sticking out in the road that are part of old walls and that apparently a lot of tourists have crashed into in their hire cars.
Good tip. Sometimes they've been painted yellow, but certainly not all of them.
Yeah, maybe 1% of them.
I have another video for you guys about what to see on the Ring of Kerry if you only have one day. I'll put that up in the end cards, and I'll see you guys in the next video.